Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Deselects. And on today's episode, I don't know what it is with this camera, but sometimes it makes me look very oily and greasy, and it's not the case, guys. I've been wearing makeup all day. But on today's episode, I want to rant. I want to rant, because I'm in the mood of ranting. Yeah, I feel like this topic is going to be fun and interesting for everyone who's working in the creative industries, who have been had some funny and funky work experiences, or not even just that. If you are a creative person, you probably know and are familiar with, the industries that um I consider creative, which would be like music, design, fashion, cinema, TV, events, graphic design. So if you work in any of those industries, social media, this is for you. If you're part of the freelance gig economy, because yeah, I have to rant a bit about it because also like just people being creative. Like I think I started being creative really all my life. Like I started in high school. I was really good in arts and design and things like that in high school already. And I just always had an interest to doing creative projects, whether it's like magazines or photography or different projects. But it I took it more seriously when I obviously became like 18 and 19 and I started practicing more and more and posting stuff on Instagram and communicating with people about it and kind of like tapping into creative scenes. There's a big creative scene in Berlin, there's a big creative scene in London. And also, when I moved to Berlin, I tapped more into that scene, which is like music, fashion, graphic design, like all these kind of things. I just put them all in one bucket right now, just for the purpose of this podcast to make it easier to understand what I mean with like gig economy and the problems that are arising and that I can see. In general, I saw this podcast the other day and I forgot the guy's name, but he's a kind of like a Joe Rogan type of guy. And he said, "Oh, if you work at a company, you have to align your identity with that company." And I wrote a comment about it saying like, "Yo, can I not like live? Can I not have an identity outside of my work? And can that be my whole identity? Like, why is my life my work and my identity?" And I don't know, I feel like there's no more like if, for example, if I apply for a job, people will ask me for my portfolio or my Instagram, which is fair because if you work in marketing, design, whatever, creative industries, they want to see that if you align with their kind of like what they're doing. But I don't know, like, can I have something? Can I have something for myself, girl? Like, you know, and then I don't know, lately I've been seeing a lot of online beef around creatives, whether it's musicians or designers. And also there's this thing, I don't know if you've ever worked with like graphic designers, there's this thing of like them gatekeeping and also being sometimes really petty and rude. Like people will judge each other to the core in graphic design and design. Like, for example, the Jaguar thing is a really good example where people just go ham on this, where one person makes a mistake or whatever, and then just people are like, da 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 da, this is wrong, you should have done this. Like, but yeah, like, okay, you're not the person, working on it right now. So I don't know what's your problem. I mean, you can share your opinion, but I just dislike that kind of like cutthroat, um, kind of vibe. But lately it's been really crazy, like, and I have to say I've worked in music before and I worked with quote unquote creative artists and influencer type of people before, and they are the worst. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like some of them are really nice. I had really good experience with it. A DJ called Dan Ganassia. Like their team is so professional, so nice, and yeah, they have their vision, but they are nice about it. And then there's other DJs and people that I work with where I'm just like, what the heck? Especially so. spilling the tea a bit, I work with this one guy, and we both German. He's really known in the techno scene, and I thought, oh my God, this is gonna be great. We like both have similar friendships, and um, he's really into fashion. He goes to really amazing fashion shows, but then yeah, he was really demanding to the point where he would hit me up on the weekends and, would be really like, if you've seen the movie Wears Prada, you know what I'm talking about. And you have that kind of client, it's like, damn, it's a lot. It's not a lot just doing a job, like, doing the job for the person, but then also handling the communication with the person. Where just like, how am I gonna manage this individual? And yeah, that was really challenging for me. And I don't know, this whole thing, it kind of like changed. I mean, I spent like a year within music, like full time, like living in Ibiza, working in Ibiza, and I don't know, I feel like it changed so much my perception on this industry and creative industries. Like it's so crazy. I had like a bit of a downer after that because I think the thing I want to avoid as a person is that my value is like being at events and being the party person, which most, let's be real, like most DJs or people working within this industry are. Like you have to be at events, and um we can have fun. Like I love a good party, but there's a point where it for me it's work, like if I do a design or something for an artist, then that's my job, that's my work. If I do videos for them, that's my work. Like, I don't want to necessarily clock in, clock out, but like at a certain point you're like over this, oh my God, they're celebrities, and then you're just like, I want to do my job, I want to, grow this relationship and, keep it modest, keep it good. And also, this is the reason I've been struggling and not being at events so much because I've been struggling with the peer pressure of events. I can say it now, I've been struggling with it because every time you're at an event, somebody will offer you a drink or somebody will offer you something. We all know what I'm talking about right now. You can think about it in your head, what else, there is to offer. And I'm just not about that life and lifestyle. Like, it's cool, like, to, of course, the first time I did Fashion Week, I got free champagne. I remember we were like, okay, like, that was crazy because I was like, what do you mean we're getting free champagne while we're working here at Fashion Week? I was like, what? And, me and the girls that I work with, we were like, get like three, four glasses and sneak a glass in after the main event and stuff, like you do. That was my first time Fashion Week and doing this kind of thing. But then after a while, the novelty wears off, and I want to go home when I want to go home. Like, I don't want to stay till 5 a.m. if my job finishes at 2, unless it's like, a purpose for me to be there, but I don't need to hang around all of you guys. I don't know all of you guys. And I'm not saying I'm so grateful for all the experiences I made. I want to preface that I'm so grateful and privileged with all the experiences I made in this industry so far, but that doesn't give people the right to just assume that I have to drink or do other things and be there till a certain time if it's not my work time, And this is the problem I have, and I don't know how to deal with it because obviously I love music and I love events and I want to go to events, and TBH now events are great for networking, meeting people, it's a loose vibe. Even if you work in tech, it's a great opportunity. But I don't want to stay out till 5 a.m. every night and I don't want to drink. I am literally in my healthy girl era, and I feel like there's more to life than getting effed up, every night. And I love music, but I don't love the peer pressure of events. And I feel like if you're not, so the thing is, I think Brenda hashtag said that once in a podcast where she was like, she doesn't have to do all these things because she's already at a level where she is not, where she can do what she wants, And I want to get to that level of like, okay, I can do what I want because I don't want to deal with it, but I'm not there yet. I feel like if you are, you either have to be talent or you have to be like, with talent, I mean you're either the DJ or you are the professional working there or you are on the, let's say, senior management side or senior art director, senior creative side, where you are literally rolling the party and stuff. I don't know. I don't know how people deal with it. Like people who work in the industry, please tell me how you manage because I crashed a bit. Like I didn't crash in the sense of like, you know, I just got burnt out by um having to be there and having to be this version of myself where I party all the time and where I mean I love having fun, but I cannot control this. This is something I used to do for fun in my free time, go to events, and now this became my job, so it was a bit difficult navigating this, and this is why I just took a break, and I think it's okay if you take a break, and it's nice to take a break because you're not gonna appreciate it as much if you're there every day, 5 days a week. And yeah, this is my problem with creative industries. It's very cutthroat. It's can be very superficial, and especially that one experience I made with that DJ. Like, I'm telling you right now, for me, normal people, a normal girl growing up, I obviously always looked up to artists and what they had and how they could maneuver, how much money they made, how much influence they had on culture, and it was something like really aspirational. Let's call it the aspirational economy. But when I met this DJ and he was making, let's say, 10 to 20 grand per gig, maybe sometimes, which if it's a bad gig, he makes, let's say, 8 or 7, And also, I know the people he interacted with, like he was guest list at, like he got sent clothes from Margiela. He was guest list at Rick Owens, like fashion show. And I was like, my mind was like, you are living a dream. And he was so unhappy and he was so, I don't know what was going on, but he was not happy and he was really anxious and he was really, I mean, I don't want to speak for this person, but I just saw him like not being happy, and in my head it was so surreal how somebody could have so much, so much admiration. Like he would literally have online so many comments of people being like, "Oh my God, we love you," la 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 la, and he would still think people hate him. And this was like a moment for me. Like it, I remember this moment changed a lot for me when working with this person because in my head I was like, "What is going on? This seems off. This seems like I don't know. It seems so weird. Like we're striving for so much more every day, and I'm doing the same, but like." Is this not enough? Like, what is enough for you? Because you literally get invited to my dream fashion show. Um, you're literally friends with these people and you're not happy or you're not content. And I was like, I think that was the point where I was questioning a lot about myself, about the industry I was working in, and about how I can do this sustainable without losing myself because I didn't see the path of doing it. And yeah, basically this is the reason why I took a bit of a break from music. And you know, this is not the first experience I had. I mean, there was another experience where I was at a camp and thanks to all the people involved with this camp, it was such an amazing experience, and the person who invited me is one of my besties now, and I really cherish this person. But I just remember it was such a like there was like 20 to 30 creatives, maybe like DJs, all like, DJs, producers, singers, songwriters, yada yada. And all most of them, like it was really you could really see who was there for the attention and the like every one of them had to do like a social media post, and everyone was like doing, this type of thing like to the camera and basically being their own star in their movie, which I mean, as an artist, you should be. There was also really cool and down to earth people, I don't want to say that, but it was just intense, intense experience of like, wow, like this is actually this is actually it. Like, this is how this game rules. And this was nothing compared to what I think is happening in the big league of artists, and stuff. And I mean, I heard all of their stories, I listened to them, and they told me about like some of the deals they had before with certain songs and which songs went viral. And that was crazy for me. Like, because a lot of the things you have to understand in this creative industry is non-regulated. There's no HR if you are a freelancer at Balenciaga. Probably. I mean, at Balenciaga maybe, but there's no HR if you're a freelance musician or if you are a freelancer at some certain newcomer brands, let's say, hmm, who can I say? In Paris or in Berlin, like the jobs are so limited, and if you're in this system, it's like so gatekept and so how you say, like I know from a friend who worked at Louis Vuitton that she said she was really burnt out and stuff, and I I don't know, is this it? Like oh, I don't want it's so like my little girl, inside me when I started to study and I was like, oh, I'm gonna work in fashion and music and do or tech and do all these fancy stuff, but then I see the reality and I'm like, is this it? Like I'm disappointed. I'm not disappointed all the time, obviously. Like I had a lot of great memories and things. Like I'm so grateful. I would never forget this time also in Ibiza and stuff. Never, never, never. Would never change it for anything. But um there was another moment I remember when I worked for this tech startup and we were at this fancy club in Paris. So yeah, I was in Paris and I met up with one of my colleagues, and we went to this fancy club called Mignon or something. And I remember she was a bit like she was maybe like 40 or something, so she was senior manager, and we always looked up to her, and she's a great person. But I remember she was like, we were in the club, and she was ordering champagne and stuff, and the whole team was there, and she was like, "You, Joyce, dance, dance," and I was like, "What do you mean?" Like, I don't know. It was so how you say like when something is like a play, like you're an actor, and that's how I felt. And that's how I sometimes feel when I work these jobs. I feel like I'm an actor and I'm like, um, sometimes I I do this thing where I just dissociate and people ask me, like I remember one guy asking me, "Oh, you always look so that was in the club. That was a tour manager of one of the DJs I work for. He was like, "Oh, you always look so serious." And I was like, what do you mean I look serious? He was like, yeah, you look so serious when you're working, like you're not having fun. And I was like, I am having fun. I'm just not on drugs all the time. And also, I'm working and I just have a resting, like, chill face. I'm not like, yeah, all the time. Like, what do you mean? Like, do you, I don't think you guys would take me serious if I would be out here and I would be, like jumping around all the time and being like maybe that's what they want, but I'm just not that person. Sometimes I am that person in my free time with my friends, like I can, but sometimes I'm just chill and reserved and I just like to observe. I'm an observer, I don't need to, you know. Anyways, this is what I want to say. Sometimes it's cringy, sometimes it's corny. It has its good sides, but recently I've been just, I don't know, I see so many flaws within it, like the system of the creative industries. And I wish there was more HR. That's the thing I wish. Like, I wish there was more HR protecting talent, protecting women, protecting, POC, protecting like all kinds of people from doing their own contracts or things going wrong because there's not enough of that, I think. Because if you work at a big company, you know that there's HR. But if you work, I don't know, for a startup or you work for whatever in these industries, fashion, music, entertainment, yalla yalla, then there's not much HR and probably it's a lot of we are like very close knit. We are family, quote unquote, but they're not your family, you know? They're not your family. Don't tell them all your secrets, please. Like, also, this is something I've learned. Like, I love working with people and I love making friends at work. Like, it's literally like the best thing at work, right? Like, making friends. But don't tell your colleagues all your secrets because it's just not good. Like, like your best friends, you can tell your secrets. Other people, we keep it reserved and we keep it. You don't have to know everything, you know. Um, yeah, but let me know what you guys think about creative industries right now. I think I want to dip for a bit because I'm tired of the non-representativeness of it and I'm tired of how you say, I mean, I will always do stuff on the side and projects, but just letting you know like why I'm not at the moment so at events and working in music and stuff. It's because of that, because I feel like there's something more for me that is healthier at the moment, and I felt like I was losing myself a bit, and I don't want to depend on being popular all the time in that sense of like having to go out and party and drink and stuff. Yeah, let me know what you think. What kind of drama have you been come across in this industry? And I hope you have a beautiful day. I'm gonna drink my green tea and I see you guys next week. I will be in Japan, so I will record after that and tell you everything about Japan. So have a good one, and I see you guys very soon. Bye.